Hey squad, and welcome back to my channel, and of course welcome back to yet another new video just for you guys. I am back. Long time no see. I've been away for quite some time, and to be honest, I don't really have any huge reason to explain my absence, but more or less all of it has been revolving around how I've been feeling lately. I've just been feeling, to be honest, not in the moods, not at all motivated, without any kind of ideas. I feel like I have this creative block. So yeah, anyways, I decided to come back today with another video that I definitely wish to have on my channel, something that I definitely wish to discuss, to talk with you guys about, and also to get, if I'm quite honest, like your point of view, your thoughts, your opinions, your experiences, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one out there. Even in my closest surroundings, I have two of my best friends that are suffering from the same medical condition that I've been discovered as well. So this is unfortunately not so recent, but the problem is that I've been just struggling to find what works best for me. How could I help my body in the best way possible without involving too many chemicals and going the more natural route, let's say. So of course I've been asking all of my friends, all of the girls around me for like their advice, their tips and their tricks. But yeah, anyways, today I wanted to kind of like discuss this entire topic with you guys. So first of all, just to clear up the elephant in the room, what am I even talking about? What is this medical condition? So I have been discovered with PCOS, or now they actually changed the name of it and it's not even called PCOS anymore. I'm gonna put here on the side the actual definition of this like medical condition, what it actually means, what it actually is, and so on. Because even for me, it was really difficult to understand like what this actually even is. Why did I get this? How do you get this? Like just I was really confused, to be honest. And it also took quite some time for me to get this diagnosed. So my advice number one to you would be that you absolutely, without any kind of doubt, listen to your body. If you feel and see that something is off, something is weird, something is not how it used to be, you don't feel the same, but you cannot really like put a pin in it, like you don't really know what it could be, but you feel that something is wrong, make sure that you trust yourself, because obviously this is not coming from nothing, you know what I mean? And I feel like us women, we really do have this intuition, and I feel like you know before you know, if that makes any sense. So I think for the longest time, I really knew that something was wrong with me, but I wasn't diagnosed. So then I was like, okay, I have these symptoms, but like, what could it be? Like, it's not adding up. So let me explain. First of all, my problems started years ago, okay? We're talking about like 5+ years ago, when I was first diagnosed with lactose intolerance. By the way, this was also my initiative. No doctor sent me or anything. I was the one pushing to get all of these tests and to get like some answers, because I was about to like go crazy. And it first started with lactose intolerance. So out of nowhere, okay, I've been drinking milk, eating dairy products, especially cheese, like all my life, okay? Never had any major issues, never had any, you know, problems, any sensitivity. Like I was always the girl that kind of like could eat anything and would not really have problems, until the problems started. So my problems specifically were whenever I was eating dairy products, which was mostly, let's say, I don't know, milk, when I was eating cereal or milk in my coffee. I used to be obsessed with lattes in university. Like all we were drinking is basically lattes, and it's just a huge amount of milk with some coffee. So basically my problems started with me getting bloated immediately. So I would get like very bloated, like badly bloated, okay? And I was like, okay, something seems to be off. And then I was always considering the fact that it might be the food. You know, one time I would think, okay, maybe it's the pasta, maybe it's the pizza, maybe it's because they didn't cook this and this properly. Like, you start questioning. But the thing is, I noticed it the most with like dairy stuff. So then I went to the doctor finally and I said, listen, I don't know, okay, I'm not a doctor, but I'm suspecting that I must have either some form of allergy or some sort of intolerance, like food intolerance, because I get these and these and these issues when I eat mostly, let's say, I don't know, dairy products. Luckily, my doctor was, you know, listening to me, hearing me, and she was like, okay, let's just start at the beginning. We're gonna run a few tests and then let's just see. So I was like, okay, perfect. So we did an abdomen ultrasound. We did a allergy test, and both of those came back completely perfectly, like nothing was wrong. So my abdomen looked completely fine. Everything was all right. And tests for my allergies, nothing showed up, okay? Like nothing. So I was like, okay, then I guess it must be some sort of like food intolerance. And then she told me, God bless health insurance, no? Then she told me, yeah, if you want to do the lactose test, this is actually covered by the insurance. But then if you want to do, I think the gluten test, it's not covered, or vice versa, whatever. So then I was like, I don't care. I'm going to do both anyways, because I just want to get to the bottom of this, because like something clearly seems to be happening, you know? And you can ask all of my friends around me, you can ask my family, like people were thinking that I'm like fully 5-6 months pregnant. Like this bloating was extreme, like it was really, really bad. And my stomach would feel like super hard at touch. It was just bad. So then she sends me for lactose and gluten test to check for the intolerance. Immediately, the lactose test comes back as positive that I have an intolerance, but no allergy, which I guess was good. And then she told me, yeah, listen, there's like, this is all up to you, to be honest. Like what you need to do is check within your diet, like what you're eating and drinking, what seems to be affecting you the most, and then obviously try to minimize the intake of those products. If you take them, you will have the symptoms you've been having so far, and the more you avoid it, like the better it's gonna be for you. And I was like, okay, sure. And me, like a huge lover of milk. I mean, I wouldn't say huge lover, but I definitely had to switch, like to change up my coffee. A huge lover of cheese. So I was like, okay, how am I gonna do this? You know, I thought the world was ending. Obviously it wasn't. I found a solution, because nowadays, luckily, thank God, you can find so many products that are lactose free and are actually like edible. They actually taste nice. It doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste like, you know, absolute crap, to say so, and it tastes good. So I was switching, and I completely, for example, cut out milk. Then all the cheeses, I would switch to lactose free, and I was fine. Butter, lactose free, I was fine. Okay, this problem gets resolved. Then I moved to Switzerland. And when I moved to Switzerland, I also quit birth control, okay? I used to be on this birth control, which is called NuvaRing. I don't know if you know this birth control or not, where the doctor was also politely telling me that the issues I was having, because then these other issues started, like feminine issues, let's say. He kept telling me, no, this cannot be related to the NuvaRing. No, this is absolutely not related to the birth control, because the birth control is hormonal. It's not related to this. It has to be something else. And I was like the whole time thinking, okay, but like what else, you know? So then I took matters into my own hand. I quit the birth control. I literally just wrote an email like, hey, just to let you know, I've decided to quit birth control. I will no longer be picking up my subscription, like just FYI, and that's it. And I don't wish to like declare the reason. Fine. This ends, and as this ends, I also moved to Switzerland, okay? So I moved to Switzerland, I quit birth control, and I'm like, okay, this is perfect, because I'm changing countries, I'm changing the people around me, I'm changing the job, like everything is new. So let me just give a full reset also to my body. I'm gonna wait for my body to like process the fact that I quit birth control, because I know that it can take like up to like, it can take 6 months or even more for your body like to fully come back to like your natural self, I guess, with all the birth control and all this stuff, which of course then also depends like on how much like how many years you've been taking birth control, what kind of birth control was it, and blah blah blah. We already know this. Okay, so my body is starting to like cleanse itself, whatever, all good. And then I'm already here like 1-2 years, you know, time is passing by. And obviously I meet my boyfriend. We begin our relationship, and I said to myself, okay, so I think it would be a good time to start some form of birth control. So then I start considering it, but then I decide, you know what, I'm not gonna do any birth control. I've done enough in all of my years of my life. I just don't feel okay with poisoning my body once again. I'm just gonna, you know, no birth control, that's it. And then after a certain amount of time, these kind of bloated issues start reappearing. And I immediately think, okay, this is maybe related again to the food. But then I look at my food and my diet, and I realize that I don't really consume that many more like dairy products, because I've taught myself to purchase like lactose-free things, and I don't really consume as much lactose. So I was like, okay, this is strange. And then my period starts acting up, meaning that like I used to have, like for majority of my life, my period was lasting 4 to 5 days, okay? Very accurate. It comes at the same time every month, lasting 4 to 5 days. I was one of the blessed people, let's say. I had like zero pain with my periods, not too heavy. I never used like night pads. I was using like the normal, just like a classic pad, let's say. Like I said, 4 to 5 days, and like it was over. All of a sudden, my period starts to prolong. From 4 to 5 days, we've skipped now to full 5. Then from 5, we went to 6, 7. And now we've come to, like in the past year, we've come to me having my period, which this brings me to my second symptom, because my first symptom was this kind of bloatiness, along with this lower belly that you think like, okay, did I gain weight? But then I check the scale and I see that I didn't gain weight. So you don't really know what this belly is connected to. I'm gonna get to it. Basically, my period prolongs, and I'm like, okay, strange. So now I find myself having my period for 14 days every month, okay? And as usual, first month I wait because I'm like, okay, this month maybe I was busy at work, didn't really take good care of myself. That has to be the reason. Second month, you're thinking, okay, it's still balancing itself out. It's gonna be fine. Third month, you start thinking, okay, maybe it's the food. Then, you know, every excuse. And then the period just kept lasting at 14 days. So I was like, okay, now it's been around 6 months and I no longer think this is normal. Let me call and make an appointment with a gynecologist, because I need to see and investigate where is this coming from, what seems to be the reason, because I was never that person to bleed for 14 days straight within a month. So I was like, something has to be wrong. I make an appointment with the gynecologist, and immediately on the phone, she's like, yeah, this is definitely like abnormal, let's say. It's definitely strange. So why don't you just come in? We're going to check and we see. And I explain her all of my issues, all of my, you know, things that I've been having, like stuff that's happening to me. And she says, okay, perfect. We're going to do an ultrasound, obviously. We're going to do a pap smear test, obviously. I'm like, yeah, the usual, not a problem. And then she says, and I'm going to take your blood and I'm going to run a hormonal test. I said, sure. She does my pap smear test, comes back perfect, thank God. She does my ultrasound, my uterus and my ovaries look perfect, okay? Everything looks in order, within average, like nothing is unusual. Everything seems more or less like from the anatomy part, fine. So then she tells me, okay, if I don't see anything within your body, and if I don't see any issues that I can point out physically, this has to be either hormonal or like it has to be related to something else. I said, okay, that makes sense, because like if my uterus and everything is fine, then clearly it has to be something with the hormones. Then she tells me, perfect, we're gonna run this hormonal test. And this hormonal test, basically you need to do, like she told me, go home, call me when you get your period, call me on the first day of the period. By the way, if you hear any planes, I live next to a private airport. So excuse me, unfortunately, they're taking off and landing as we speak. So yeah. Anyways, then she tells me, go home, call me on the first day of your period, and you will come in either 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or the 5th day of your period. You're gonna give blood, we're gonna test it for the hormones, and we're gonna check what's the situation, like what's happening, and we're gonna let you know. Of course, they test my blood, and the result comes back horrible. Like, I mean, horrible. She calls me and she says, so which day of the period were you? And I said, well, I was on my second or third, I'm not really sure, but I did how you told me. She says, okay, good, but your hormones look like you already finished the whole cycle. Like they are completely out of order. Nothing is making sense. Nothing is within average. And I'm like, wait, what? And she tells me, I suspect that you have PCOS. And I tell her, but I thought this is related to like the cysts, and I don't have any cysts. And she tells me, yeah, it used to be like this, but turns out that this is not just related to like the cysts and you having cysts, but also to the hormonal part of your body. So this can be like a hormonal version of PCOS, to put it this way. And I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea. And then I immediately think of my best friend because I know that she has it, but she has different issues, let's say. So for example, she doesn't get her period for like 4 months straight. I get it, but I'm bleeding also for 14 days in a month, which means that half of the month, every month, I'm basically just bleeding. So I'm like, okay, good. And she tells me, this can be easily regulated if you just go back on birth control. And I tell her, listen, I appreciate your advice, obviously, as a doctor and as a professional. But I would like to let you know that since I'm already like 30 years old, I do not plan to go anymore on any kind of birth control. I think I've consumed enough for my entire life, and I don't feel like I want to. So like, I appreciate the advice. Thank you for for diagnosing me, but I'm just gonna do this some other way. Then of course you start immediately Googling, ChatGPTing, asking all of your friends and everything. And everybody told me, listen, it matters that you move, that you are active, especially after meals. And it would be a good idea to incorporate some sort of supplements. So then of course I start Googling supplements. I'm like, okay, yeah, but there's like the market is overflowing with clearly with all kinds of supplements. So I was like, okay, but what kind of supplements do I want to use? Because like, you don't know. So then I was Googling, researching, and I was looking for something natural. And that is how I came across this, which I'm going to show you right now. So this supplement was the first one that I purchased. This is called the P-Over Complex, which has 15 vitamins, blah, blah, blah. Basically, it has a bunch of stuff. And it's from a brand called Sunday Natural. And you get inside these like pills, tablets, basically, that you take every single day. And believe it or not, every single day I have to take 5 of these in order to kind of regulate my hormones. So I have to say the bloating has immediately gone down, and this has definitely helped. However, unfortunately, my period is still not quite regulated. But yes, I take this to help myself. And of course, before anybody panics, I also consulted my doctor, both my personal doctor and my gynecologist, about these supplements, and she said that they seem like good supplements and that it will definitely benefit me if I take them. So this is what I'm taking now. And then with all of this, I also developed, unfortunately, an insulin resistance, which is like a whole another matter. I'm gonna pop it right here so you can have a look and read what actually insulin resistance means. So now I kind of have both PCOS and insulin resistance. So I have also incorporated this second supplement, also from Sunday Natural, and this one is called inositol, and it's a 500 milligram dosage. And this, you are supposed to take 1 pill, so they look the same, but they're white. They look like this, so they're white. You take 1 before a meal, but again on every like on a daily basis. So yeah, hopefully all of this is gonna help. But the biggest changes are supposed to happen with me being careful with my sugar intake, which is like a nightmare because I'm addicted to sugar. I love sweets, I love chocolate, and it's not been the easiest. Let's put it this way. But I'm trying to minimize like as much as possible. For example, I don't put sugar or milk in my coffee anymore. I've completely canceled both. So yeah, even when I do like some sort of recipes, for example, for banana bread, carrot cake, muffins, usually I will cut down the sugar from the recipe. So I will use less, and I use brown sugar instead of white. So I try to here and there incorporate some things that can help me change my habits. And yeah, it seems to be very important that after every meal that you have, instead of laying down immediately, which is the only thing I want to do, you go out for a 10, 15, 20-minute walk. If you go to the gym, even better. Apparently PCOS and insulin resistance both together love weightlifting. So weightlifting apparently is very beneficial, but having PCOS, like, you don't understand the struggle of the fatigue and being tired and exhausted and sleepy pretty much 24/7. So even getting yourself to go for a short 10-15 minute walk sometimes, believe it or not, seems like a nightmare, seems like impossible, seems like the worst idea ever. I procrastinate. It takes me all day long, and I will do everything else before I get myself to mentally be like, okay, now let me just go for a walk. And once I go, then I enjoy it, you know, it's not a problem. It's just the fact of like going and doing the first step is kind of like what's been the hardest and most challenging for me. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of like share this with you guys, because I'm sure there's many of women out there that struggle with this, that maybe are just finding out, maybe are not even aware of like what kind of symptoms you can have, why this is happening to you. Like it's a bit confusing, let's say, and it is quite frustrating. So I wanted to do this video just to kind of share this part of my life as well. And yeah, I would very much appreciate it if you guys can write down in the comments, of course, the ones that do have PCOS, what were kind of your symptoms, how did you discover and confirm that you have PCOS, what do you take, what do you do to help ease your symptoms and make your day-to-day life easier. I will be absolutely grateful for all of your kind advice, tips and tricks. And yeah, that's basically everything for today's video. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys, and yeah, I look forward to see you in my next one. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course, if you haven't yet, make sure that you also click the subscribe button to join the eSquad family. As usual, the more the merrier, and I will see you in the next one, guys. I love you. Bye.